All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about artificial intelligence, but specifically Canada's game plan for the future. What skills do we actually need to not just get by, but really succeed in a world powered by AI? Let's figure it out. So, here's a fun fact that I think a lot of us forget. A huge part of the foundational work that makes today's AI tools tick actually happened right here in Canada. We have this incredible legacy to build on. And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Being a pioneer is one thing, but staying a leader, that's a whole different ballgame. And it's a question Canada is asking everyone right now. To figure out that next move, the country has launched what they're calling a national AI consultation. The best way to think about it is like a super fast 30-day sprint, a nationwide brainstorm session to get ideas from everybody on what our AI strategy should look like. So, what does that really mean? Well, it's a call for input that's open to literally everyone. Tech founders, sure, but also students, researchers, community leaders, you name it. The whole idea is to get a ton of different ideas in a really short amount of time to help steer Canada's AI ship. And believe me, this conversation is huge. The whole thing is broken down into 9 key themes. We're talking everything from research and talent to infrastructure, defense, and even public trust. It's the whole shebang. But for this explainer, we're going to zoom right in on the one theme that really affects every single one of us, the human element. We're talking about skills, AI literacy, and how we get all Canadians ready for what's coming next. And inside this theme, the government is basically asking 3 massive questions. How do we get our workforce ready? How do we make sure everyone actually understands this stuff? And crucially, how do we make sure it's fair for everybody? Okay, let's tackle that first one. It's a pretty fundamental question. In an age where machines are getting smarter, what skills actually matter for people? We took a look at a submission from AI literacy expert Adina Gray to see what she had to say. Now, what I love about this answer is that it's not just about learning to code. The key word here is mix. Yeah, we need the technical skills for sure, but they have to be balanced with those uniquely human skills. Critical thinking, creativity, communication, and a real sense of ethical judgment. So, how do we build that skill mix? Well, the proposal lays out a kind of 4-part plan. First up, train our teachers so they're comfortable with these new ideas. Then, we have to update what's being taught from kindergarten all the way through university. Next, we need to make it easy for people who are already working to keep learning. And finally, and this is a big one, we need to get industry and education in the same room talking to each other so that what's being taught actually matches the jobs that are out there. All right, on to question 2, which really builds on that first one. This isn't just about skills for a job anymore. It's about creating a basic understanding of AI for everyone. So how do we make the entire country AI literate? And this just nails what real AI literacy is all about. It's not just knowing how to use an app. It's about being a critical user, understanding that AI can be wrong, that it can have biases built right into it, and that we have to question the answers it spits out. So the roadmap here is pretty clear. We need to put money into the organizations that are already doing this work. We need to weave AI education right into the school curriculum. We need big public campaigns to just raise general awareness. And what's the most effective way to do it? You combine hands-on practice with really honest conversations about ethics and responsibility. This brings us to the last question, and you could argue it's the most important one. If being AI literate is so critical, how do we make sure absolutely nobody gets left behind, no matter where they live, who they are, or how much money they make? This is such a powerful idea. It's a total shift in how we think about this. Access to understanding AI shouldn't be some kind of luxury item. It should be treated like a public good, available to everyone, just like a library or a public park. So how do we actually do that? Well, the proposal calls for specific funding for rural and remote communities so they don't get left out. It means using the public spaces we already have, like libraries, to offer free training. It means making sure this stuff is available in different languages. And it's about pushing employers to invest in upskilling their entire workforce, not just a select few. Okay, let's pull back for a second and just look at the big picture. Why does all this talk about skills and fairness matter so much? Because the choice we make right now is literally going to define the kind of country we live in for decades. What we're looking at here are 2 totally different paths. On one side, if we let AI skills become a privilege, something only a few people have, we're heading towards a future with more inequality and less innovation. But on the other side, if we treat AI literacy as a public good, we can empower everyone, create more equality, and build a way more prosperous future for all of us. The stakes are, well, they're incredibly high. So, it's important to remember that this whole consultation isn't just happening out of the blue. It's a really deliberate and crucial step in a journey that Canada's been on for a few years now. You see, way back in 2017, Canada was the first country in the world to launch a national AI strategy. Then in 2024, the government made a huge investment in our own computing power. And now, this 2025 consultation, it's all about writing that next chapter, building on everything we've done so far. So, in the end, this is really more than just information. It's an invitation. This huge conversation about our future with AI is happening right now, out in the open. The real question is, how are you, how are all of us, going to be a part of it?